In today's in-depth coverage, we will be exploring 5 critical stories that have been shaping the football world, with a particular focus on Arsenal Football Club. From injury wars to player comebacks, from political connections to tactical battles, Arsenal finds itself at the heart of several important developments. First, we will dive into the recovery of Mikel Merino, the club's exciting new signing, whose untimely injury has delayed his Arsenal debut. Next, we will examine Martin Odegaard's ankle injury and the tough decisions ahead concerning his potential call-up to Norway's national team. Then, we'll shift gears to discuss Mikel Arteta's approach to the upcoming match against Manchester City and how he plans to outmaneuver Pep Guardiola. We'll also cover UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's connections to Arsenal and the controversy that has ensued. Finally, we'll spotlight Gabriel Magalhaes, Arsenal's defensive stalwart, and the rumours surrounding his future at the club. Let's begin with the latest update on Mikel Merino's return to training and how it could impact Arsenal's midfield. The long-awaited return of Arsenal's summer signing, Mikel Merino, is finally within sight. Expected to be back in training by mid-October, Merino's recovery is a huge boost for Mikel Arteta's side, who have missed his presence in the middle of the park. Signed from Real Sociedad for £31 million, Merino's Arsenal career got off to a rough start after a freak accident during his very first training session. In an unfortunate collision with defender Gabriel Magalhaes, Merino suffered a shoulder fracture, sidelining him before he could even make his debut. Initially, Merino was expected to be out until late October, but recent reports suggest a quicker recovery. Arsenal fans could see him back in training in just 3 weeks. However, even with an early return to training, it may take more time for Merino to be fully integrated into the team. A November debut seems more likely, as Arteta will be cautious in bringing him back, ensuring he's in top condition and avoiding any further setbacks. His absence has been felt, especially with Arsenal facing tough competition in both domestic and European fixtures. Without Merino, the midfield has looked somewhat light, and Arteta has had to rotate his options more than he would like. If all goes well, Merino might return just in time for Arsenal's away clash with Bournemouth in late October. Until then, he will miss critical games, including the highly anticipated encounters against Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain. His return could be pivotal as Arsenal looks to navigate this tricky stretch of the season. While the imminent return of Mikel Merino offers hope, Arsenal faces another significant challenge with Martin Odegaard's injury. The club's captain and playmaker has been a cornerstone of Mikel Arteta's tactical setup, but his recent ankle ligament injury has raised alarm bells. The injury occurred during a Nations League match between Norway and Austria, when Odegaard collided with Austria's Christoph Baumgartner. He was forced off the field, and early assessments were concerning. Further scans revealed that the injury was more serious than initially thought. Odegaard is expected to miss at least a month of action, a period that includes several vital fixtures for Arsenal. His absence is a huge blow to Arteta's side, as Odegaard's influence on the game goes far beyond his technical ability. His leadership and vision are integral to how Arsenal operates, both offensively and defensively. Interestingly, despite the injury, reports have surfaced that Norway may still call him up for their upcoming international fixtures. This has sparked a dilemma for both Arsenal and Norway. Arsenal would understandably prefer that their star player rest and recover fully, especially considering the severity of the injury. Norway, on the other hand, might be keen to have their captain available for crucial matches, even if it risks aggravating his injury. With injuries mounting and key players sidelined, Mikel Arteta faces one of his biggest challenges as Arsenal manager, a crucial Premier League clash against Manchester City. Arsenal came away with a 0-0 draw in their last visit to the Etihad Stadium, a result that, while positive at the time, ultimately hampered their title push. Manchester City went on to win the title by just 2 points, and that draw in Manchester was seen as a missed opportunity by many. Arteta is determined to avoid the same outcome this time around. When asked about the upcoming match, he made it clear that Arsenal is not going to City for a draw. "For sure we will prepare to try and win," Arteta stated, emphasising that Arsenal is aiming for all 3 points. The stakes are high, and a victory at the Etihad would send a strong signal to the rest of the league that Arsenal is serious about competing for the title this season. City midfielder Rodri previously commented that Arsenal just wanted a draw when the two teams met last season, pointing to the difference in mentality between the two clubs. Arteta has taken this criticism on board, and his tactical approach to this fixture is likely to reflect a more aggressive mindset. He knows that his team must be brave, organised and clinical if they are to come away with a win. This match comes at a critical time for Arsenal as they face their third away game in just 6 days. Fatigue could be a factor, but Arteta has been rotating his squad to manage the workload. Defensively, Arsenal will rely on the partnership between Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba to contain City's main threat, Erling Haaland. The duo has been one of the most consistent defensive pairings in the league, and their understanding on the pitch will be key in limiting Haaland's impact. Away from the football pitch, Arsenal finds itself embroiled in a political controversy involving none other than UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Starmer, a well-known Arsenal fan, has been under fire for accepting free tickets to watch Arsenal games from the director's box at the Emirates Stadium. Over the past 5 years, he has received more than £35,000 worth of complimentary tickets, sparking concerns about a potential conflict of interest. The timing of this scrutiny is particularly sensitive, as Starmer's government is currently working on legislation to establish a new football regulator. This regulator would have the power to block breakaway leagues and prevent controversial investments in clubs, measures that are not universally welcomed by Premier League teams. Critics argue that Starmer's close ties to Arsenal could compromise his impartiality, especially when dealing with issues that directly affect the football world. Conservative MPs have been vocal in their criticism, with one MP stating that Starmer should step away from the Arsenal director's box to maintain transparency. The controversy has put Starmer in a tough spot, balancing his love for the club with his political responsibilities. Finally, we turn to Arsenal's defensive powerhouse, Gabriel Magalhaes, whose performances at the back have been nothing short of exceptional. The Brazilian has formed a solid partnership with William Saliba, and together they have been one of the key reasons for Arsenal's defensive success over the last 2 seasons. Rumours have recently surfaced about Gabriel's future, with top European clubs like Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid reportedly interested in signing him. However, Arsenal is keen to hold on to their defensive linchpin and is prepared to offer him a new contract to ward off any potential suitors. Gabriel's commitment to Arsenal was tested last summer when he admitted that he had to be persuaded to stay at the club. Since then, he has become an even more integral part of Arteta's plans, and the upcoming contract talks will be crucial in determining his long-term future at the Emirates. In summary, Arsenal faces a number of challenges both on and off the field. With key players like Merino and Martin Odegaard out injured, Mikel Arteta must rely on his remaining squad to navigate a tough schedule, including a high-stakes clash against Manchester City. Meanwhile, political controversy surrounding Keir Starmer's connection to the club and Gabriel Magalhaes' contract negotiations add an extra layer of complexity to an already pivotal period for the Gunners.